Speaking of my peeps, guys, do you sometimes feel like this when you're around women?
You know, I've never actually seen that happen in real life, but
Shocking.
a new study says that men, well, they basically get stupid when they're around women. And here to discuss that are relationship experts Ian Kerner, who's also a sex therapist, and Cooper Lawrence, author of The Yoga Club. And good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. So, Ian, I want to ask you first off, is this the real deal?
Well, I don't think it's men getting stupid. You know, when a guy is having a normal conversation like we're having right now, we're using the prefrontal cortex of our brain.
Is this okay with you,
but now I'm talking to you. Hold on.
Uh-oh, now
See
we just
what
got
happens?
dumb.
No, seriously, when you go from having a normal conversation to talking to an attractive woman, what happens is you go from using the prefrontal cortex to using more primitive parts of the brain that actually start to trigger arousal. And so a guy will, you know, maybe start to sweat a little, his heart rate will go up, his respiration, his pulse will increase. So there are definitely physiological changes, but it's not getting stupid. In some ways, it can get you smarter, it can get you primed, it can get you a little exhilarated and excited and even potentially a little focused.
So is this just women you're attracted to, or is it women in general, that there's something biological there?
Ask him, because I think this study is crap. I'll tell you
I have
why.
to say,
I'm sick of studies that have these gender stereotypes that we have to now you know, fit into, and cliches and all that. People are individuals. Now, this study in particular, it was 71 people, and by the way, they don't report ethnicity, so what am I going to assume? Everybody's white? So it's true for 71 white college students in the Netherlands. I don't think Americans function the same way they do. I think we are socialized differently. So when you meet somebody of a different gender, you don't all of a sudden go, oh my God. You know, you know how to have a communication with them. Our whole world is different than theirs is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what about gay men? You got two male brains there, so they both go, blah, you know, it doesn't make any sense. So studies like this take away from individuality, and I don't want to pigeonhole anybody.
Well, I do want to say, though, there, you know, evolutionarily speaking, there is a courtship mechanism, and when a guy potentially is face-to-face with an attractive woman, you know, there is the courtship mechanism does kick in. Even if it's a business relationship, we are still programmed. We still do have evolutionary programming. So I think in some ways the study, while a very small sample, does potentially reflect a larger truth, that when a guy is in the presence, particularly of an attractive woman, he will undergo mental and physiological changes.
But Cooper, the fact that Ian is saying that maybe those physiological changes will make them smarter, do you buy that?
You know, you always want your partner to be smarter, right? But I don't, you know, he knows that research better than I do. I have to look at this study and look at the validity of it, and there's a lot of problems with its methodology.
Well, it's like, imagine when you're giving a speech, right? A presentation. You might get nervous and flustered, and you can totally lose your train of thought and mess up, or you might get really sharp and focused and really nail it. You know, so.
And this study says they get dumber. So actually, I would rather listen to him, because if somebody's going to fall into a stereotype, I'd rather fall into this one than the one this study is telling us.
I feel smarter after that comment.
And I'm just hoping I can get through the rest of the show without bumbling and stumbling.
Good luck, Ben. Good luck.
Good luck.
Ian and Cooper, thanks so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us. We really appreciate it.